We've now got to the point, I'm sure all of you are thinking, well, it's all about this website, but where is it? Liz, Kate and Deb, and really, really big thanks to you for getting this together. Liz is going to just show us the website and do a kind of tiny mini tour and talk about it. Over to you, Liz.
Thanks, Nicola. Thank you. As Jan touched upon in her story, the Open University's got its own sort of long history in supporting people with learning disabilities to tell and share and crucially record their stories. So we were really delighted to be involved in this project and to support the development of this website. And it is a work in progress. So we've got the website in its current format as it is now, but of course, as things progress, we'll be looking very carefully at how we sustain the website, make sure everything on there is kept safe and secure, going back to your point, Jan, and doing everything we can to preserve all the wonderful material that's coming through. So this is just a very brief tour of the website to give you a sense, if you haven't already had a chance to look at it, to see how it's structured and how it's all organised, what it looks like, and to show you some of the key buttons and pages on there that might be of particular interest. So Kate, we've got the home page up here. If you could just flick down a little bit for me, and you'll see here on this home page we've got some information here about the website and how it works and what it's all about, and some quotes from friends and colleagues with learning disabilities who've been very involved in helping us to develop the website and kind of get the feel of it right. We do have an About button which tells you some more information about who's been involved, but I don't think we'll go through that now. We don't really have time for that, but I think it would be nice if we could move on to your stories, because this is really the key part of the site. So you'll see here we've organised the site with a few key buttons that hopefully are nice and clear to use. And this is the place where if you come to the site to read or listen to or watch some of the stories, this is where you'll find them. So we've organised the site according to stories that people have sent in, written stories. So that's under Read Stories. Kate, could you just click into that one for me, please? So we've already got some lovely examples here where people have sent through written accounts of their experiences of the past few months. We've got some poems there. And I know, looking at the chat box, that there will soon be other stories that people are going to be forwarding on to here. So this is stories that you can read. We'll also have a listen to button, which over time the plan is to try and get some audio recorded transcripts, audio recordings of some of those written stories there. So that's to be developed. Where we've got lots of material coming through thick and fast is on Watch Stories, which is brilliant. So people have been sending through their videos about their lockdown experiences, and they're so varied and coming through from people all over the country. So this is a lovely page, and I'd really urge you to check this out after today and then spend some time watching people's stories. And one of these stories here that you see, AJ's, we will be playing that film at the end of the session. So thank you to AJ. We've also got a button for artwork. Jan mentioned that in the Know Me As I Am book, there were lots of artistic contributions, and we're seeing the same people are approaching us saying that they've got creative pieces of creative art they want to send in that really represents their experiences of the pandemic. So please do send us through your artwork, or if you know of artists, people who have been drawing, painting, creating cartoons of their experiences, we'd love to receive those. And we've also got a page called Celebrate a Life. So we felt this was really important. This was something that came up quite a lot in our early discussions about paying tribute to people who've sadly died during the pandemic. And the team were very keen that we created a space for people to be able to send through their tributes. So we've already got 2 really moving examples on the site already, but just to let people know that there is a space here for you to send in tributes to people, if you really, for you to help remember that person and to celebrate their their contribution to the world. So that's an important page. If Kate, if you wouldn't mind just hitting the send stories button, just so that we can show people how you actually go about sending your story. So what you'll see on this page is we've given you different options to be able to send your story. So if you've got a written piece and you just want to pop it in the post to us and you don't want to use the computer to do that, that's absolutely fine. There's also an option for people to email their stories through and upload their files. Or the other option is that you can submit your story through the website itself. So there is an option to do all three things. What's really important is we do need your consent, of course, before we put your story onto the site. So there is a consent form that we've worked up. We've really tried to make this as clear and accessible as possible so that it's straightforward to complete, but it contains really important information that helps us to understand that you appreciate that other people, this will go on a website, other people will be looking at it. So if you send a story in, please do complete the consent form. And of course, if you need some support to complete that form, that's fine. And if you'd like anybody from the project team to help you complete that form, please do get in touch with us and we can help you with that. On the next, Kate, would you mind just flicking through to the guidelines, please, so that we can just show people. We've developed some guidelines for creating and sending your story through. So some tips for, ideas for how you might write your story, develop your artwork. Most people will have a very clear idea about what they want to do, but if you want some prompts, there's some ideas there. And we've also got some guidelines around things that perhaps should and shouldn't be in your piece. So of course, one key thing is just making sure there isn't lots of identifiable information in there. So your address and things like that, got to be really careful about that. So we've given hopefully some very clear guidelines on how that would work. And of course, when you send your story into the team, we'll take a look at it. If we've got any queries or questions about it, we'll come back to you and go through any concerns we might have. If, for example, we think there's a little bit more information there that should be around in terms of personal information, and we'll speak to you about that before we put it on the website. Okay, and there'll be a team working on that. Yes, and then you can just follow through those pages and you'll see that if you did want to submit your story through the website, this is where you would do it. Okay. Kate, would you mind just going to resources next, please? Thank you. So Nicola's already alluded to this through the chat box already. Just today, we're seeing so many amazing projects that are underway. People have been working so hard to produce fantastic resources around coronavirus. There's other lovely story sharing projects underway. So we really do just hope that this site can be a hub. So as well as collecting stories, we really want this website also to link out to all the other fantastic work and to help promote those other projects. So if you're working on another project, if you've got another website or you've got resources that you want to shout about, please send the stuff through to us and we'll make sure it goes on this resources page. This really is intended to be an archive. So, we want to have this to be a place where we can really keep a record of all the wonderful practice that's been developed over these past few months. And then finally, we've got a news button. The pandemic's not going away anytime soon. We're frequently being asked to change our behaviours, to learn new ways of doing things. So really, we thought it was so important to have a news section so that we could capture those changes as they're happening. So if you've got any news items that you want to highlight, please do send them through to us. Any events that you'd like to promote, this is where we can put that information. Quite early on in our discussions, Craig made the point that there will be people who don't easily access phones or computers, who might struggle to see this website, but who would be very interested in reading about people's stories. So Craig suggested we develop a newsletter option which we have done. So these are documents that include some of the stories that are sent through and that then can be downloaded and printed off for people. So we've produced some of these already, but we've also developed a template so that if any other organisations or individuals want to develop their own newsletter and send it in to us, you can draw on our newsletter template if that makes things a little bit easier. And I think that's a really important point, because there will be people who don't easily get onto websites, and it's important that they also get an opportunity to learn about other people's stories. Okay. A couple of final points to mention. We'd love this to become an international site. So we're already in touch with a few people in other countries who are preparing their international stories to send through. But please do bear that in mind if you have friends or colleagues in other countries and you think that they might want to send through their stories. It would be lovely for this ultimately to become an international collection. And I think that's probably all I wanted to say. Nicola, have I missed anything?
No, I don't think so. I mean, well, just one other tiny point, which is that we are, of course, able to post links to information that is already in the public domain and online. So if you've got a blog or a story that's out there, we're very keen not to duplicate things. So we will assume, or we check that there is consent, that people are happy to have it posted on this site, but you don't have to go through the procedure for a second time of obtaining consent. So we really have tried to make it very flexible. Yeah. And we hope that everybody can take advantage of that. And again, you know, many, many thanks to Deb Googe and Kate Tockley, who have just been amazingly responsive as we would go, oh my goodness, we think we need to change this tiny thing. And instead of going, oh God, what are you like? Ever cheerful and responsive. Thank you so much.